Hello and welcome to Quartz Like Your Car Brochure channel, and in today's episode the Saab 99 EMS and GLE. Hello and welcome back, and if you're new to Quartz Like, what are we? Well, we're a car brochure channel looking at car brochures from around the world for 60s, 70s, 80s and the 1990s, and even beyond that as well. So if you're interested in cars, car knowledge, car facts, little bits of information and comparisons, please consider subscribing. Anyway, back to today's episode, the Saab 99. We're looking from this UK brochure for 1978, so let's just throw that on the board. So this particular brochure is showing some signs of wear, some creasing, some marks on that front cover, but like I said, it's from 1978, and it's really a follow-up from this brochure, really. Also dated 1978, showing on here for the Saab 99 GL, although there were more models inside. As you can see, it also had the turbo, so it had the 99 GL Saloon 2-door, 99 GL Saloon 4-door, 99 GL Combi Coupe 3-door, 99 GL Combi Coupe 5-door, and the turbos that you really wanted. So the 99 Turbo with 3 doors and the Saab 99 Turbo with 5 doors. Now, when we did this particular brochure review, quite some time ago, actually, a few people did say, well, where's the EMS? Well, that's a separate brochure which we're going to have a look at today. However, if you missed this brochure for the 99 GL and Turbo, I'll put it on a link at the end of this brochure review. So yes, this is the brochure we're going to look at today for the EMS, and it's also got the GLE. Now, the GLE was the top of the range model at the time. Front cover, not too exciting, is it? This strange brown colour. So let's have a look inside and see what this brochure's got to offer. So much nicer on the inside, straight away showing this lovely EMS, quite a rare car today. And for the 70s, they always had quite interesting colours actually, Saab. I don't know the name of this particular colour. I'm not sure if there's a colour chart in this one or not. I'll probably have a quick look in a moment, but an interesting colour for the 70s, looks quite modern. They're very sort of safety inspired seats for Saab now, always very interesting seats and some interesting alloy wheels. And of course, we should always point out these interesting wipers, a little bit different type of wipers that everyone else used. This sort of push-pull type design wiper, quite an interesting little wiper to push away the snow, I guess, in the Swedish winters. Anyway, there is some text, so let's have a look at that now. So it introduces it by saying the Saab EMS, the mature result of many years of rallying. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's sporty is the theme really. So the Saab EMS is sporty. It has sparkling acceleration. It has the special equipment which will appeal to the driver who enjoys putting a little verve into his driving. Spoiler, stiffer springing, gas shock absorbers, low profile tyres and aluminium alloy wheels are but a few examples. Now, for one thing, it doesn't really say in here is anywhere on here what EMS actually stands for. And I think one of the reasons why it didn't really make any sense anymore, the EMS, because originally the E stood for electronic, as in electronic fuel injection, which was what this particular model was all about. The M stood for manual transmission, and the S just stood for special, so electronic manual special. Bit of a strange one, but the problem was with the E, because originally when it came out in 72, it came with a Bosch D Jetronic fuel injection, but by 1975 they changed it to a Bosch K Jetronic mechanical fuel injection. So it was mechanical fuel injection by now. So the electronic part of that didn't really make any sense, but they left it as it as it was and still call it the EMS, but like I said, it doesn't mention the name in this particular brochure. But anyway, it was still a pretty special car, so let's turn the page and see what else it has to say about itself. So we turn the page, we've got some really nice images and some text. Let's start over here and see what it's got to say. So it starts off quite weirdly. It says, in the past the car was regarded as sporting only if it was primitive. It's a weird start, but times have changed. When driving hard, the driver is particularly well served by the car being designed to facilitate his work. The driver and his car must be in equilibrium, must be coordinated. Every detail of the Saab EMS is designed to satisfy this demand. In its Combi Coupe body style, the EMS is both roomy and versatile, and it's sporty through and through, though not at the expense of comfort and loading capacity. It gives us a little quote: a Saab, any Saab handles well, the EMS does it superbly well. It goes on to tell us the engine with power to spare. The Hoved camshaft engine is equipped with light alloy cylinder head and mechanically controlled fuel injection, 118 horsepower. Now it only comes with a manual gearbox, as it says, with 4 forward speeds, so you couldn't get this one as an automatic. And then if we go to the bottom here, it says examples of standard equipment on the Saab EMS: front spoiler, aluminium wheels, low profile tyres, Bilstein gas shock absorbers, a low number of steering wheel turns, lock to lock, free sports steering wheel, tachometer, tinted glass, folding centre armrest in the back seat, console for radio or tape recorder, stereo, loudspeakers in the doors. But they say, a picture paints 1,000 words, and, I think it's more than the sum of its parts. I mean, look at that beautiful interior. It certainly looks something very special. We get a little bit of a glimpse at the front end. Of course, Swedish cars, Saab was no exception, all about safety. Look at that big safety bumper. And those shock absorbers. And then a lovely look into the engine bay and that unusual sort of slanted battery, unusually located there. And then it reveals some rather lovely images, so let's just have a look at these. I mean, personally I think I'd still choose the turbo if I had a choice, but I think this is a very interesting looking car. The tail itself always look quite peculiar, I think, on this particular example, but you can see how it's badged. It looks like just an EMS sticker on the back there. I mean, when was the last time you actually saw one of these in action in a little bit of winter drive in there? And there is a bit of a closer look at that particular rear badge. A moody night shot. Generally various different images and from various different angles of this particular example. Even bits of chrome, like plenty of chrome or bright work around the windows there, around the wheel arches. And looks like we've got sort of like a very shiny looking aluminium wheel on this particular image. And more various images and a little bit of a look at that dashboard as well. Anyway, let's move on. So here we go, we turn the page, we get the next model in this brochure. This is kind of at the top of the range, a flagship Saab, I guess. The GLE, using that same fuel injection system. Says the Saab 99 GLE is exclusive. The E didn't stand for exclusive though. It's talking here about the grand looks. E referring to the fuel injection system again. Although once again the fuel injection system isn't electronic, it's actually a mechanical fuel injection by this stage. So the Saab 99 GLE is designed and built for people whose needs are as follows. I want a car with above average comfort, I want a car with status, a bit exclusive perhaps, sound and well planned in every detail, an automatic of course, and it must be comfortable on a long trip, as in the city traffic. The engine must be powerful and lively. So one of the main differences between this and the EMS was the EMS could only come as a manual, the GLE could only come as an automatic at this time. Again, we get various different typical car brochure images, but I think it is quite a nice attractive car, shown here as a 5-door. So kind of implying here the EMS only came as a 3-door and the GLE only came as a 5-door, but I'm not sure if this actually was the case. Certainly a very interesting interior with those seats. It then goes on to tell some of the details of this GLE model. So 4 large soft cushions provide the driver and his passenger with a comfortable support for the neck. The exterior rear view mirrors can be reset electronically from inside by means of 2 switches on the fascia. The upholstery is plush and is beautifully styled for the GLE, as are also the door trim panels. So pretty nice on the inside overall, this particular model. Some of the standard equipment, so we've got those aluminium wheels, electrically controlled external rear view mirrors, windscreen wipers with intermittent operation relay, tinted glass, auto transmission, transmission oil cooler, electrically heating in both front seats, 4 headrest cushions, folding centre armrests in the back seat, console for radio or tape recorder, stereo loudspeaker in the front doors and rear doors with child-proof locks. And again, one of these unusual heated seat systems. We found it the same in the Volvo, so maybe a bit of a Swedish thing. It says both front seats are electrically heated. Heating is switched on at temperatures below +12 and is switched off again at +28 degrees C. That seems far too warm to me to have heated seats coming on. And again, you don't really hear of heated seats being automatic these days, or are there any cars that do that now? But like I say, that seems too warm for heated seats to be coming on, personally for me anyway. We've got an image of a couple of Swedish ladies in the back of this example. And then a look at both the automatic transmission lever and that dashboard. I think overall it's a very interesting car, particularly with this sort of red trim on the inside. That would have been quite striking, wouldn't it? Particularly if you got a black example. Then we get various images of this particular GLE version, so we'll have a look at that as well. So hard to see what colour it is. It looks like a very 70s colour. It looks like a brown, doesn't it? A very 70s colour. Although in some images it looks like a bit more of a burgundy colour. So hard to tell exactly what the colour is in the pictures. But certainly a very interesting car indeed. You can see the badging on this one is an actual badge for the GLE rather than just a decal. Typical brochure-esque style pictures. Certainly looks a shade of brown in that image. There he is, the badge. And a bit of a side shot in the rain. Particularly want to zoom in on this interesting, the Combi Coupe. And a front shot, and then finally we get a little bit of a shot showing the practicality of having a hatchback, although you can see that spur wheel certainly taking some of the space. Although for me personally, I'd rather have the spur wheel in something. When you stick them underneath the car, I hate rolling under there, and they're actually filthy, aren't they, when you actually have to change the tyres. So I do approve of the spur wheel position there. Compared to sticking it underneath. I don't mind the reduced space, but I guess for a lot of people that would certainly be an inconvenience having the spur wheel there. I'm going to say, what does new cars have these days? Well, a lot of them don't even have a spur wheel, do they? But like I say, I prefer them inside something. So we turn the page and we're kind of reminded it's not just Volvo that was really pushing for safety. Saab was on that same sort of course as well. Telling you, Saab has always been the forefront in lighting. Gives you a little bit of a look actually at those headlamp wipers. Saab was the world's first car manufacturer to equip its cars with effective headlamp wipers and washers. Says investigation has shown that after a car has been driven for 10 kilometers on a slushy road in dense traffic, and it goes on to say the light intensity from the headlamps may be reduced by as much as 90%. But really nobody worries about that anymore, do they? But certainly there was a time when wipers were quite a big thing, and this push-pull type system looks quite effective. Goes on to tell us Saab is also one of the pioneers in dual circuit brakes, giving you a bit of an idea of what most other cars are lacking in their type of roof linings. Kind of like covers the steel members around the edges of the roof. That sort of ergonomically designed and safe seat. And telling us, owing to the pivot mounting, the springs will always do their best. Saab was the first in fitting bumpers worthy of their name, the sort of impact absorbing bumpers. And then owing the rest of this to talking about safety, and they were a pretty safe car for their day. And on the back page we've got technical specifications. Sadly no colour chart for this one, but we've got technical specifications. Not too much really for this time, I usually get more specifications than this, but let's have a look at that. So both cars got the same engine. It's a 1985cc 4-cylinder inline unit, 118 horsepower at 5500 RPM by the looks of it. Battery is obviously 12 volts. Moving down, what else is it going to show us? Bit of information about those aluminium wheels. Looks like the spare wheel is steel. Similar for both models and some, various dimensions. But if we move over, you'll notice the difference really is in the gearbox. So a 4-speed manual gearbox for the EMS, and then on the GLE it's a 3-speed automatic gearbox. And you can certainly see there that it does increase the weight. I mean, the GLE is certainly the heavier of the two cars, and certainly the difference between the EMS and the GLE is mainly down to that transmission. Like I said, the GLE is a little bit heavier, and EMS is of course a more fuel efficient car of the two. And then we get a few little clauses at the bottom that says illustrations in this brochure show cars equipped according to the standard on the Swedish market. All cars sold in the UK are equipped with right-hand drive unless specifically ordered to the contrary. And then we get a little Saab badge there, and the Swedish address. And then finally, if I just tip the brochure to one side, we can actually see the date there of printed in Sweden in 1978. So I've just pulled this body colour chart for 1978 and Saab. So I'm thinking, what we're thinking is brown on that GLE version is actually this cardinal red metallic, showing there for the 5-door turbo, but possibly that was also used on that GLE. But there is also a brown called Dorado brown, but it is a very dark brown, so I wasn't sure if that was the colour or not. So you got really interesting cars, those, the 99 EMS and GLE with that fuel injection system. I think I still would have gone for the turbo, but I guess if you don't like all that turbo lag and you want a bit of a smoother car, those were the ones to go for. Anyway, do you remember these Saab 99s? If you do, please just in the comments. Always very interesting to read. If you've not already subscribed, would really appreciate if you did, if you enjoyed this video. We've got many more brochures, reviews to come, and a lot in the back catalogue as well, and subscribing really helps the channel, and most importantly, it's completely free. But for now, we'll say thank you so much for watching. We'll see you very soon, and take care, and goodbye. Hello, and thank you so much for watching today's video for Quarterlight, the Saab 99 EMS and GLE. I've also chosen another video for you to watch, the Saab and 99 GL and Turbo, in case you missed it. Now, if you have enjoyed today's video, please do hit that subscribe button. It certainly helps the channel, and if you would like as well, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching today.